Hi, welcome once more. Michael Yardney here with the Rich Habits, Poor Habits series of videos, weekly videos with Tom Corley in the United States. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good, thank you. Now, Tom, over the last couple of weeks, we've been working through the beliefs of the wealthy people as opposed to the disempowering beliefs of the average person that you recognized in your 5-year study. And the purpose of this is so that we can understand how we're thinking, so we can change, and also how we can develop rich habits rather than poor habits. So, Tom, today I've got this list still. I'm working my way through. I'd like to go through a few more if I could, please.
Sure, be delighted.
Today, let's talk a little bit about money, because really that's what a lot of this is about, and the concept of debt and the way that wealthy people and the average person thinks about debt, Tom.
Yeah, so, wealthy people, what I found in my research is that they view debt differently than everybody else. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Bad debt is credit card debt that you're using to maintain your standard of living. Good debt is debt that you use either to help educate yourself or to for a business or a dream that you're pursuing. So that's good debt. Now, debt is debt, and all debt is bad in the sense that it imprisons you. But the fact of the matter is, the wealthy people use the good debt or debt in a good way so that it actually frees them from prison. They're able to make more money, and then they're able to pay off the debt. And then the debt allows them to create this incredible income stream. Oftentimes it's multiple income streams. And then when the debt is gone, what do they have left? They have this incredible income stream.
They have an asset. They've built assets along the way, haven't they?
That's kicking off revenue.
Interestingly, the same thing that disempowers poor people empowers wealthy people. It has to do with debt, how they use it. It has to do with taxes and inflation. So wealthy people, in my mind, use debt to grow assets, while poor people use debt to buy depreciating goods such as cars or the latest plasma TV or the best new smartphone. So wealthy people use debt to acquire assets that add value to their portfolio. Similarly, while the average person earns income, pays tax and lives off what's left, as a CPA, Tom, you'd recognise that wealthy people use the correct structures to actually earn income, spend their money legally, correctly on tax deductible things that may increase their property business, their share portfolio business, their whatever other business they're in, and then they pay tax on what's left. They invest with pre-tax income and invest in tax-effective situations. And also inflation is the other thing that helps investors, because as asset values go up, they do well. But the average American and Australian, their money becomes less over time with inflation. So they handle money and debt very differently, don't they, Tom?
Yeah, and I think the important point with regard to inflation is that if you're investing or if you're using debt, or if you're investing your money to buy appreciating assets, you're essentially defeating inflation. You're beating inflation, because most everybody else inflation is a tax. It takes away more and more of what is a tax? A tax takes away your gross income. It reduces your gross income. Inflation is a tax because it reduces your gross income.
I'd never thought about it that way, Tom, but that makes a lot of sense.
So with wealthy people, that doesn't happen, Michael. Why? Because their assets keep growing. And by the way, so when their assets grow, the rents keep going up. Their rental income goes up because inflation is making it more costly to hold that asset. So they charge more rent. So the poor person, their gross income goes down because their rent goes up. So it's a tax.
So one of the things we're talking about now is the beliefs of wealthy people compared to the average person. By the way, if you've missed previous versions of this video, on the bottom of this page, there's links to the last couple of weeks where we've been going through a list of the beliefs that Tom has come up with in his 5-year study that he conducted a while ago about how rich people and the average American I guess the average person in all Western countries thinks differently, acts differently, behaves differently about money. Tom, one of the other beliefs they have is that wealthy people, I understand, believe that becoming wealthy is a team sport. I often say if you're the smartest person in your team, you're in trouble, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, that is the truth. If you look, I love Elon Musk because here's a guy that didn't know anything about rocket science and decided he wanted to be a rocket manufacturer. So what did he do? He read, this is what wealthy people do, he read to learn everything he possibly could learn about rockets. And the second thing he did is he hired the best people. He went to NASA. He went to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He hired people who were the best in the industry, who knew more than Elon Musk will ever know, even 30 years from now. So he hired the best. He hired people that were way, way smarter than him. And look at the success that he's having. If you surround yourself with smarter people and you happen to be in charge in your business, you're going to get wealthy just because they are smarter. They know what they're doing. They're going to improve your business. You want to always surround yourself. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to surround yourself you want to be the dumbest person in your room that happens to be like an orchestra leader. And they're all playing an instrument, all those smart people. And that instrument is your business.
You want to be the conductor of the orchestra rather than a player in it, don't you, Tom?
That's right. That's what
I think that's one of the reasons we're working together, because there's only so many hours in the week I can put in, so many hours you can. But the way anyone can achieve their goals is by working with others, because as a team, I know in your own business, you've got staff, I've got 50 staff in my business. I couldn't run what I'm doing on my own. So the only way I've been able to achieve what I've wanted to is by surrounding myself with people and sharing along the way. But there's actually more. Alone I can run faster, but together I can run further, Tom.
Yeah, I love the saying. I always use this saying in my writing and on my media interviews, 1 and 1 equals 3. And that what that means is that when you put together a team, it's not the number of people on your team, because they all have synergies. Usually there's synergies, and they actually amplify each individual's abilities. They magnify it. So 1 and 1 equals 3. That means you got to create a team, because even if you have a team of 2 or 3 people, you really have the potential brain power of about 5 people working for you.
More than that, I think it goes back to one of the things we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the concept of abundance. If you actually feel that there's enough to go around and that you're not worried about sharing success with other people, you're going to then take on a team, you're going to have smarter people in your team, and you're going to achieve what you want. On the other hand, if you feel scarcity and there's not enough to go around, you're going to be scared to share it with your team, Tom.
Yeah, one of the disciples of that was Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was the wealthiest man in the world at one time. He was the creator of what became U.S. Steel. And he would pay his managers and the individuals that were doing the work, because he wasn't doing the work, he would pay them enormous salaries that people in the industry, in the steel industry, in the coal industry, in the railroad industry, would be shaking their heads and saying, "Are you out of your mind?" And he said, "Well, no, this guy is great. These people are great. I'm paying them a lot of money because they're going to make me a lot of money." And he turned out to be right.
More than that, Tom, he listened to them rather than thinking he knew it all. Successful people are prepared to accept the fact that other people know things, and why pay somebody a big salary and not listen to them? You'd be pretty stupid if you did that. But lots of bosses do, don't they, Tom?
Yeah, and that's because they're operating from a scarcity mindset, Michael.
Definitely. Tom, we've discussed today again a number of the beliefs of successful people, and I've still got a whole list of them that I've taken out of your works and your studies. So can we come back next week and do it again?
Be happy to. I love doing this stuff.
Thanks, Tom. Bye.
Thanks, Michael.